You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Thursday the 27th of March 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I've had, a weird few days. I didn't podcast for the last 4 days, and every single day I've actually wanted to do a podcast, but had nothing to talk about because I've deliberately taken a short break from writing, which every now and then you need. And as I say, I'm doing my best now to... Well, I haven't done a single emergency podcast this year, which is the pre-recorded ones that I pump out on a day where I am not in the mood to do it. And I've also just not turned up, not turned up, if you get my meaning. So I haven't ever just not dropped a podcast. I've said, right, I'm going to have a few days off. And I thought today, even yesterday, I was like, I really can't wait to get back to doing some writing tomorrow. And, I'll do the podcast. And then today, I've just been in a really weird mood. So what didn't help is that yesterday when I landed, I should have driven home and gone to bed, picking up a little bit of shopping on the way. And I did, and I went to see a friend and spent a few hours there, which was stupid because by the time I got home, I was beyond tired. And when I get to the beyond, and I had caffeine and stuff to make sure I was driving safely and all that, but I was at the point where I knew it would screw today up, and it absolutely has. Now, when I got home, I was also expecting a delivery, so my proof copy of Still Life. Now, don't get me wrong, Still Life has not been published or anything like that, but through Kindle Direct Publishing, if you upload an appropriately formatted PDF, you can have a physical book sent to yourself. Now, the idea is these are for people who want to sell them on Amazon, but you can make proof copies. Now, right at this time, I have no intention of self-publishing, but I can go through the process up to a point where I get the proof copy. Anyway, that arrived. And because I've been looking forward to this proof copy arriving for the last few days, I did something a bit silly. I'm going to start reading it now. And it wasn't too bad. I read the first chapter and there was one little word. It's not that the word was missing. The sentence made sense without it. It just would have sounded better with this word added. So I thought, no, that's fine. Added it into the master document. And then kind of forgetting how tired I was, I suddenly remembered other things because I've got a checklist of things that I tend to do wrong when I write. And so I thought, well, now's the time to go through it. But I won't look for the checklist or anything like that. I'll just remember it. Now, one of my constant mistakes that was highlighted to me during someone who proofread the English Hikikomori was I put like instead of as though or as if. It was like he was lying instead of it was as though he was lying, and that's easy. Just search for all the likes and then look at them and go, right, does that need changing? And I did that last night. There were 246 occurrences of the word like in the book. Some of them were literally talking about appreciating something, so they were fine. And I started changing the likes to as though and as ifs and wording things another way when I could. And I got to the end of doing that and thought, oh my God, I've just made a couple of hundred changes to this text when I'm so tired I can barely think straight, and I could have generated a shitload, pardon the expression, more errors in the text. Oh my God, you moron, what have you done? And then I got excessively paranoid about it and thought, I shouldn't have done this, this is stupid, and wound myself up. And then I remembered I had a backup, so it didn't matter. I could go back to the version from earlier that night without a problem. But it kind of put me off because, I don't know, I should have gone with my original plan, was not visiting my friend, gone home via the supermarket to get some food in the fridge, and then just dozed. But I didn't. And I tried to push through, and I'm just a bit irritated with what I did yesterday. And as I say, it's totally salvageable because I had backed it up. What I do is, as well as automatically backing up on iCloud, whenever I do something significant like sign off a chapter or whatever, I email a zip file of everything in the book up until that point. So the zip file I sent myself has got all the earlier drafts, plus this draft, plus the compiled version of this draft where I've changed it back from individual files for individual chapters back into one master document. So it's fine. I haven't lost anything, but I suddenly got paranoid last night. And as I say, I've forgotten I'd got this backup. I'd forgotten I'd done it. I just worried myself and didn't sleep very well, and then resolved it all this morning by discovering I had got the backup. So it's just a bit... So today I've been sleeping at the wrong times, really tired, jet lagged, and I didn't need to. If I'd gone to bed for a few hours when I got home yesterday, like I originally intended, I would have been in a fit state today, and just, I don't know why I didn't, and I need to kind of have a stern word with myself. Because today was going to be a day where I started writing a short story, and I haven't done anything like that at all. I've just... and I haven't even done any more work on English Eek, I'm not even talking about that. Haven't done any more work on Still Life because I just don't feel I'm in the right place. And obviously now I've been up all day, struggling to stay awake, and dozing occasionally. And yeah, so today would have been a productive day. My plan was to start writing the next 60/40 Doctor Who The Bill crossover short story, which I've got some ideas about, but like most of them that I've written so far anyway, I start off with a kind of bare bones idea, and it's actually the process of writing it that fleshes it out. So my basic idea is that Dorothy McShane in 1986, who the following year would become the Doctor Who companion known as Ace, has been basically arrested for something she didn't do. But there's fairly convincing evidence that she did. And the Doctor, in a future incarnation, ends up for some reason in Sun Hill, like happens quite a lot with some of my character with these crossovers, and sees Ace, and obviously can't identify himself to her because she won't know who he is yet, and has to do something to prevent her from going down for this crime. Now, the only thing I've decided, it can't be the Seventh Doctor, because if it was the Seventh Doctor, when she then met him, when she first met him, she'd go, "Oh, weren't you that bloke at Sun Hill Police Station that time?" So it has to be the Eighth Doctor onwards, and I haven't decided yet which Doctor I want it to be. I've kind of narrowed it down to two. I'm thinking it should be the Eighth Doctor, it's Paul McGann. The problem with that, though, is what companion to put with him. Of course, he had no televised companions, so I'd be looking at introducing a Big Finish companion, and it's not that that's a problem. These are for fun, they're not for profit. But there are two that I can't decide between. There's two amazing... in fact, there's more than two. There's so many good options with, should I use Charlotte Pollard? Should I use Lucy Bleeding Miller? That's not her actual name, it's actually Lucy Miller, but yeah. Or should I use Doctor, I can't remember her name now. There's several great companions. So I need to decide which combination of Doctor and character. And then the other one I'm considering is using the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, but then what companion? And also, I do have a much stronger idea for a Peter Capaldi story down the line set during season 17 of The Bill, which I'm a long way from writing, obviously. So, yeah. Anyway, didn't do any of that. I just basically stressed myself out yesterday for no good reason, and have done very little today. Never mind. Hopefully tomorrow will be more productive. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.